Good morning. This is Dr. Timothy Scott back here at Life Point Medical. Life is good for me this morning, and I hope it is for you. So a few things. First of all, we will be shut down today between 12 and 2 to do our monthly staff meeting so we can talk amongst ourselves and fix things. We continuously, on a daily basis, are fixing things, but once a month we get together and we do more fixing. Okay, and what I mean by fixing is fixing the processes, trying to make sure we're delivering to you what you need, and we're listening to you, and we're doing the right thing, and we're making sure that what we order and all those loops that we put out there get closed so we can make sure you're taken care of. It's a concerted effort. It takes all of us working on it, but we're going to be working on that today a little bit. So thank you for your patience, and if you give us a call during that time, just leave a message and we'll get you as soon as we're finished with that. But speaking of messages, okay, so I have a website up, www.drtsbeck.com, and that is the practices for Life Point. That's our practice. That's our URL to where you can go and look at our website. But we've got a new feature on that website, and that's a texting feature. So I understand how difficult it is to get us on the phone, and I actually have 4 people answering the phones. But even with 4 people answering the phones, I've only got 3 lines. So a lot of times all those lines can be busy simultaneously. And we do get a large volume of calls every hour, sometimes up to 100 phone calls per hour based on what's going on. And you know, other doctors calling us, other facilities calling us, patients calling us, new patients, return patients. So it can get quite voluminous. But if you want a quiet, easy way to get a hold of us, just click on the little button at our website, and you can send us a text message, and we'll correspond with you via the texting feature. So, so as far as COVID goes, it's 2,774 cases, which is just one up from yesterday. It looks like the fire has gone out here in this area, and I'm just praying that it stays that way. But if it don't, we'll handle it. Okay. So I was talking to you the other day about the cardiologists that come by, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what we're actually trying to accomplish. So, vascular disease, cardiovascular disease, can a lot of times be attributed to rupture of your arteries that forms a clot that clots off the blood supply to your heart or to your brain. That's called a stroke, but these are mainly to the heart. And what it is, and I was talking to this cardiologist about it the other day, it's you form these little like pimples on the inside of your arteries, okay? And those pimples can evolve, they can rupture, and that rupturing is what you get when you get that you start a cascade of clotting factors that again clogs your arteries up. So some of the ways we mediate those things, like how do we mediate the cascade thing, is that's why people get on aspirin, because we know that aspirin will interfere with that cascade a little bit and keep the platelets from clotting as good, and that's why we give people Plavix. Same thing, it inhibits platelet aggregation, which forms a thrombus, which cuts off blood supply, kind of thing. So what we're looking at when we're looking at that is, first of all, is we're trying to stabilize those plaques if we think you've got them. And that's part of what the blood test we do is, and looking at your cholesterol and other things, is trying to predict whether or not you have those lesions, those pimples on there, and can we stabilize them. And the way we stabilize them is with medicine, weight loss, but mainly medicine, in the sense so that if you stabilize those things, they won't rupture and you will not have a heart attack. Okay, so, but we're also looking at your whole vascular tree, not just the ones around your heart. So you get a lot of advantages with treating that because it works throughout your body. So what we can do is we can try to identify people who have these plaques, who are high risk for these plaques, and we can go ahead and get them set up on some kind of program to stabilize these plaques. Now, and that's exactly what I've done for myself. According to my profile, I should have these lesions on in the inside of my arteries. So therefore, I'm treating myself as if they're there, and I'm trying to take and do whatever's necessary to stabilize those plaques so that I don't get that event where one of them ruptures and causes me to have a heart attack or a stroke. So that's what we're looking at for you. that level of pathology we can't see here. I just have to rely on other people who do experiments and look at those things. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to find or try to identify the people who are at high risk for those plaques rupturing, and we're going to try to stabilize them. So that's what we're doing here. And when we go get a stress test and stuff like that, we can see how much your arteries are narrowed. But if they're narrowed, that doesn't mean that if you're not being treated and you don't know about them, that can be an indication that you are vulnerable to those things rupturing. But after we identify them and we get you treated, those things will stabilize. The plaques will actually stay there, but they'll be stable and they won't rupture like we were talking about. So anyway, that's a kind of a basic explanation of that. I just wanted to share it with you so you can kind of understand what we're doing here. So thank you so much for listening. I'm going to keep doing this. We are working on our solution for distributing this video. I will get it to you as soon as possible, as soon as I get it figured all out. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.